the best time of the week. Time to listen to the Three Brothers. Forget your garlic and your leeks and listen to the Three Brothers. It's fat-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and free from gluten and priestcraft too. If you click this accidentally, stick around. You might learn a thing or two. Chuck on a shirt, tie and shorts, and crack yourself a brew without any further ado. We are coming at you. Three brothers, juxtapositions, and midnight ramblings for sure. Three brothers, don't forget you get what you pay for. Three brothers, so come on down, don't even worry about it anymore. Three brothers.
I can't even remember how it finishes, but
Three
that's right.
brothers.
Three Brothers. Hello and welcome once again to something a little bit new. It is the Three Brothers podcast, and it's time to hear from your favorite Three Brothers. And we're coming at you live, but not really live. If you've accidentally clicked on this week, we hope you stick around, as the jingle suggests. It is a new podcast. It is a new format. It is a new jingle. Gentlemen.
What are we doing?
Jingle jangle.
This is crazy. It's so fun. I've got a big smile on my face because it's so, just so fun that we're doing this finally. It's great. I don't know what we're doing. It's so fresh. Let's find out. Let's find out together.
We're very grateful to Ashley and friends of the channel who have helped put together the Things Like That wonderful jingle. We hope you enjoy it. It's going to annoy you each and every week. So we're looking forward to it. All right, let's get started. We're going to have some fun little segments today. They could chop and change. We'll see how we go. Today, we are going over our weekly update and follow up.
I should write that in right now.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of that. A lot of the old callbacks.
The weekly update has now been updated. All right.
The weekly update. All right, gang. Anything exciting this week? Anything of note? How did we do for the last 4 years with keeping commitments in our come follow me
life.
videos?
Good.
Good.
Pretty good. Not bad. You want to talk about the week? Well, I am on next week is my last week of parental leave. I've had a couple of months of parental leave, which is insane. So I've been off spending all my days with the kids and the wife, which has been good and bad. No, it's been it's been really good. No, it's been good. So my company has wild parental leave even for the husband. So it's really, really nice. So it's really good to be able to spend time with the kids, because I was thinking about it. It's like you don't really, as a man, really get much time ever with your kids, especially when they're young, or even at any point, really, So it's quite nice to be able to spend some time with them at a young age and just hang out with them all day. And then aside from that, I mentioned it in our Come Follow Me stuff, I've recently been called as Elders Quorum president in my ward. So there's been a lot of meeting with Bishop and trying to figure out how I'm going to tackle that challenge, because it's quite a challenge, actually, quite a new thing. And the Elders Quorum does actually need a lot of work in my ward. So kind of excited to do that, and been a lot of pondering and praying about how to sort of do that, and talking to a lot of friends who have been Elders Quorum presidents as well in the past. Shout out to Cameron Palm, Mark Leakius, Brandon Winter, all the good boys in Perth who have been Elders Quorum presidents or bishops now, and getting advice from them. It's always solid. And not to down anything, but our dad has melanoma. He has got a nice cancer going on, so that's fresh too. But he's an old gun, and he's made of leather and nails, and so he's getting immunotherapy, so that's fine. He's cranking through that. Seems okay. That's the fresh stuff. nothing really crazy, but that's what's been going on. What about you? What about you, fellas?
I'm back to seminary now. Seminary started back up for the
Mm,
year, so I've got the biggest class I've ever had before, which for us is 13, and that's to me that's amazing.
nice.
And I found myself accidentally becoming too important at work, so I've become far too busy in early
Good.
mornings, far too busy during the days, and then you all know I conk out pretty easily at night. So right now I've got the sleepy, tired eyes as we've just ticked over the
Yeah, I was gonna say the
midnight
funny
hour.
thing is like this is our first time doing this. We spent like 3 hours talking about it before before going live, and just fluffing around. And it's midnight now, so yeah, it's good times.
I have to note
Yep,
that
yep.
now because that must have changed. Because normally it's either we're 12-hour difference or 13-hour difference. So like I thought it was 11 there.
Oh
So
yeah,
now
daylight
no,
savings
yeah, it
just
changes for
kicked
me.
in. Yeah. We don't have daylight savings anymore. Like we voted against it in Perth. So when everyone flicks over daylight savings, yeah, it, it changes. Yeah.
Very
Um,
good. Anything new with you, Micah?
Doing the understanding revelation now. Just finished the teaching for edification. My
Yep.
kids have, evolved from the playing with poop to now, screaming bloody murder in my front lawn, chasing each other with sticks. So
that's a
I'm at
natural
that,
progression.
yeah, the
Yep.
natural progression of like, am I going to be able to survive this to like, are the cops going to be called today? So yeah, that's definitely where we are. What's going on out here? You open the door, you just see your son just running across the lawn with a big stick in his hand, and you're like, "Why'd I wake up? Why'd I wake up?"
You're on like 5 acres, aren't you, as well? So
Yes. So
if the cops come, there's been some serious screaming going on. If someone's heard
uh,
that.
they got plenty of room to run with the stick. I mean, they can go for a while. So yeah,
There's a lot of room for activities.
Yeah.
yes, yeah, that's true.
Well, that's a few fun adventures. We're going to move on down to our another adventure, which is reading out a random comment that we've received during the week. We're going to do this out of any platform. It could be Discord, it could be Facebook, it could be the comment section here on YouTube. And so this,
Guess what? The comments are going to be open on YouTube for this now. So, because historically we've had them turned off, so they're going to be open now. So, well, at least until we see how it goes. If it gets filled with absolute trash, maybe we'll turn it off. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So, feel free to comment in the comments on YouTube. We will actually see them, guaranteed. And so, if you want to add anything, you've got any questions for us personally, or like as a, you know, as the three brothers or whatever, chuck it in there. Yeah. And the comment of the week will get mentioned in here and we'll talk about it and answer the question as well.
and I did see the comment a second ago. Micah, has it disappeared?
Well, I'm just messing with different ways that we
Ah,
can maybe show it out of.
Old Kirky boy.
there you go.
Can you see it now?
I'm sure you can. We can see it. I'm sure you all can read it at home, but I'll read it out loud. This is from our mate Kirk Holgren. He said, with regard to our new podcast, he said, I'm excited for this. I think I just love hanging out with you guys, and this is the closest I can currently get. Looking forward to your guys' thoughts in a less restrained setting. Unleash. It's going to be awesome.
Love it. You know what's funny is this is the closest we can get too.
It's true.
I mean, me and Ammon, we see each other multiple times a week, but in person because we do jujitsu together and stuff, and we only live 10 minutes from each other. But this is literally like the closest we can all three of us get, so we feel that. And in terms of the less restrained setting, I think it's awesome as well, and I'm excited for the less restrained setting. But I was telling the guys, I'm scared because I don't know how you describe it. I'm like
It's got loose lips that
I am
sink ships.
yeah I run loose. And if you unchain me, man, so I'm just I don't want to offend anyone. I'm scared a little bit about going no script so
Looks
Us
over his
Aussies,
shoulder.
us
yeah
Aussies are a little looser. We're a little
yeah
looser. We're
looser in the
loosey-goosey.
language. Well, yeah, so it's fun though. I'm excited. It's cool.
Good. We'll enjoy it.
I'm always
But yeah,
Googling stuff. Boof. What is
Oh,
this mean? Yeah, it's
Bowser.
always yeah, Bowser. Bows.
Anyway, one of the things that I love about this, and this is what Kirk has highlighted, is this gives us more of an opportunity to be a little bit more connected to you guys. If we can bring up some comments and we can talk about the things that you're seeing and the things that you're thinking about, if we can talk about current events, the things that you're experiencing, and we're all seeing in the news and all the way around us and around the world, I think that connects us just a little bit more. And you'll see as we go through today, we talk about some of these segments, you will see just how connected we really are. And we feel what you guys feel. So I think that's really cool. It will be awesome. I agree. Now let's move on, brothers, to question of the week.
Let me just
Am
say
I
one
gonna-
thing too. That
Yeah.
and we haven't really discussed this, so who knows how to go. But I don't see why we couldn't have guests on sometimes. You know, if someone wants to jump on the podcast with us as a guest, we'd probably also have a great time. So that's what podcasts are good for, right?
There will
So
be no guests.
the only problem is probably availability because me and Ammon, again, it's somewhere between 9 p.m. and midnight when we record these. For Micah, it's middle of the day, so we are wildly all over the place. So that's the only probably hard bit for people. But anyway, go on. Question of the week.
Well, I tell you what we could do, and this might be easier for everybody, is if somebody wanted to record a little video, we can play the video with questions, with commentary, with whatever they want to share,
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
we can talk to it. So you
Yeah.
don't have to do it live. If you wanted to share a testimony, if you wanted to share a question that takes a bit of storytelling or something that's a bit more nuanced, that writing it out doesn't really seem to cut it. If you don't have time to write it, you prefer to just read it out and videotape it and send it to us, please. We welcome it. Put it through Discord is probably the best way to do it. Upload it somewhere where we can access it easily or stream it. I'm sure we'd be happy to pick some of those up. So we look forward to some of those entries in due course. And without any further ado, or should I say, without any further didgeridoo, the question of the week is coming at you. Questions of the week, an absolute cracker question of the week. We have to start with this. Why do we have to start with this? Because didn't we start with this question
4 years ago, like forever
years
ago,
ago? Yeah.
every week.
every week 4 years ago?
And you know what's funny is that Matt has put this, like, I reckon, tongue in cheek, right? Like he's tongue in cheek. You know, you can see he's done a little wink there, but also at the same time, I think this is the best question that you could start with, like, an answer, because again, how many people still don't understand what that sentence means? You know, I still think it's valid.
That's quite literally the joke, because people who are around us and apparently listen to us, and the only thing that we ever talk about all day and night is that the answer to that question, and they will still flat out ask us, what is the redemption of Zion? So I love it.
Or
Also,
worse, they'll just start teaching. They'll just start teaching something that is redemption of Zion, like you know, like when we plow the snow for our neighbor, we're redeeming Zion. It's like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Here's the kicker: how are you gonna answer this question in a, you know, it's a big question, really. You know, what can be. How do you want to answer this in a sort of a succinct way?
Well, yeah, you go, Micah. All you.
You could go to lds.org. This wonderful, actually, I'm sorry, I can't lie. It's a terrible website, but it's good. Dude, whoever does the LDS website, like seriously, like hire the guy from Scripture Citation Index, because that person's got it going on.
It does blow my mind. The church has $100 bajillion million trillion. Like, you don't think they could spend 1/1,000,000th of that on, you know, a good website? But anyway, too much to ask.
Yeah. So if you actually go to some of these things, yeah, Doctrine and Covenants chapter 101, and so what's the answer to this? You go right to the very beginning of this. Verily I say unto you, concerning your brethren who have been afflicted and persecuted and cast out from the land of their inheritance. So what is the redemption of Zion? The redemption of Zion is, yet I will own them, and they shall be mine in that day when I shall come to make up my jewels, and I will gather them, I will bring them together, and I will return them back to the lands of their inheritance. I will reclaim that land and build it. And so it's an actual physical thing. The best place, Zion 101, the best place to learn about Zion 101 is Doctrine and Covenants 101, and follow those wonderful footnotes. You go down there to the inheritances, right? Verse 18, they that remain and are pure in heart shall return and come to their inheritances. And you start clicking on these footnotes, right? It takes you to the other Doctrine and Covenants places that say, hey, there's no other place. There's no other place, right? In verse 20, you click on the footnote there for place. It actually takes you to Doctrine and Covenants 57. And it does, hey, I'm the Lord, and I've consecrated the land of the land of Missouri. This is going to be the land of promise. This is the place for the city of Zion. And so, the redemption of Zion, simply put, is us rising in power and finally being able to move physically back to Missouri and finally build the city of promise.
Yep. To
I
redeem.
tell you what, the redemption of Zion isn't. It's not Salt Lake City. It's not and it's not a state of mind, like just thinking we are
It's not the
Zion.
church in its current state.
It's not the church in its current state. There's a lot of things that it's not that people try and talk about.
Internet cables.
Yeah, I heard a talk a couple of weeks ago where a person stood up and said, we are Zion and Zion is not a place. And I thought that's the opposite of what we have in the scriptures. It's the opposite what's in the guide to the scriptures, the Bible dictionary, D&C 101, pretty much, well, any scripture about Zion. It's the complete opposite, but I suppose that's what we're here to do, isn't it? We're here to talk about the doctrine. We're here to share what's actually in the scriptures. And if anyone's got questions about those types of things, like what is the redemption of Zion, despite the fact that it's what we talk about day in and day out, we would be happy to pick some of those things up and go over them in this podcast. So if you've got any of those questions of the Reek, if you've got any questions, submit them if you would like, and we'd pick them
And we
up.
we also can direct people to like videos too. So like we're not going to sit here and talk for an hour and a half on some of these questions, but we can point you to, there is actually a specific like 4-hour video specifically on the redemption of Zion, going over all the scriptures, all the LDS student manuals, all of that. So that we could share with you. So
Yep.
Cool. Moving on down.
Okay. Is it my turn? So the thing with
is
this
it my
podcast,
turn?
is it my turn? May I have a turn?
Can I have some more?
The thing with
May
this
I
podcast
have a turn,
is
Governor?
now, and if you look on Spotify, for instance, you'll see that we've described this podcast as, tackling news, spiritual stuff, social media, memes, all sorts of things from the perspective of an active Latter-day Saint. And again, we're trying to get out of Babylon, right? We're trying to get out of Babylon, but the fact of the matter is that we are in Babylon. So we're striving to be separated from Babylon. But we are constantly surrounded by things that are worth noting, talking about, discussing. Again, from the perspective of an active Latter-day Saint and not a priest-crafting Latter-day Saint. That's probably another point to note, is that
we're not trying to grift off the gospel.
Yeah, we're no grifting over here. It's all free over here.
We're not trying to make money.
You get what you pay for as well, so keep that in mind. But you know what? You get what you pay for, but the best gospel information is free. That's how it works, right? You want to go to a priestcraft out, you're not getting the best information. So, I'm just trying to highlight why we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about some news, some current news, and bits and pieces each week, because there's things that affect us, affect the world, and signs of the time stuff, maybe things like that. So it's worth us, and because we've been historically, the three brothers, really spiritual, just spiritual, and this is We still want to be
Gonna be
spiritual, but we're
gonna be a bit of fun and a little bit of
yeah,
news and memes and fun and all that. Yep.
yeah.
Let's get stuck in.
All right, so we've got the headlines for this week, and there are actually a few other things, but this is the top. top. I showed the guys how you can annotate, and then straight into it we go with the things. And I'm like, I'm so scared because like I want to draw like a hat on him and glasses and stuff, but it's like he's an apostle. So the first news of the week: Elder Gilbert was named to the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. If you guys have anything you want to talk about with Elder Gilbert, a couple of things I'll note about Elder Gilbert is he's young. You guys know how old Elder Gilbert is?
55.
Yeah, that's young, man. I don't know. Like, I mean, I haven't gone and looked when the other apostles were called, what age they were. I think Elder Bednar was like young when he was called, but I think he was still like in
Yeah, like
his 60s or
58.
something. Oh,
Something
yeah,
like
there you
that.
go. So 55 is young. So you know what? Like, I don't think we'll be around this long. But if the world was to keep going and the second coming didn't come, you'd almost be looking at this guy probably ending up as the president of the church if he lived long enough. You know what I mean? So
Oh, he
I
was
don't know.
52.
Oh wow, he was younger. Okay, well there you go. Wow. Okay. 55 just seems so young, man. It's like I'm 41, and it's like so it's not that much older than me. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I'm a loser.
Uchtdorf was 63,
Oh, there you go.
who
Okay.
was at the same time.
Anyway, this guy, he did a few things. He was CEO of Deseret News, Deseret Digital Media, and then became president of BYU Idaho and BYU Pathway Worldwide. So and a few other. He actually worked for Harvard and a bunch of other stuff. So he's kind of got a pretty good sort of career, and he has 8 children. And so anyway, I don't know him very well, but real looking forward to hearing from. I'm sure we'll hear from him at the next general conference in 2 months. Anything you guys want to add to Elder Gilbert?
Nah, just shocked at how young he was, but I think
Mm,
it's amazing and I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, like I say, what? So I'm 41, he's 55, so he's 14 years older than me. It just does not sound like a lot. And I'm just like, man, how do you become an apostle so young and know what you're doing? I feel like I don't know what I'm doing ever in my life.
Very good. Next one.
Yeah, next one. All right, so there's good and bad news, right? So everyone would have probably heard that scroll down a scotch, Micah, if you don't mind. So there was a shooting at an ice rink in Rhode Island, and it was. How do you show the picture of the? We had a picture of the
Oh,
dude, but
everyone would be shocked.
oh yeah,
Shocked.
everyone. I'm sure they'll be shocked of what sort of person would have done this.
This was a pillar of the society and was known and
Yeah,
beloved. And it came as a shock to everyone. There was no signs, if you will. No signs, no warning signs. Uh,
His mother was the most shocked. He was such a good boy.
yeah.
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 So
Yeah, it's
this guy went and shot his, well, I guess, ex-wife. I don't even know. I'm not sure of the actual minutiae and the detail. I think he shot his ex-wife and then tried to kill his kids as well, which is just insane to me. Um, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of the story. He's obviously got some grief there, but um, what's crazy to me is the common denominator, this common factor of, because you can just look at this guy and know that he's hard left, right? Probably hard left, trans, LGBT, whatever's. They're the ones arguing against, or arguing for gun control and all this sort of things, and yet they're the ones doing the shootings, and it blows my mind. Every single shooting, it's one of these people, and I just find that very interesting. Anyway,
I
it's
just
very
think
sad.
I think it just highlights the fact that people that have mental illnesses and it goes unchecked. And as a society, if we accept mental illness as a way of life and we accept people that are mentally ill as something to both encourage and support. Like I've got a lot of friends that have mental illnesses. They should be taken care of. They should seek treatment. They should seek encouragement to um, make sure that they don't go off the rails. Like I've got friends that very easily go off the rails, so they got to watch their diets and their medication, and they need to have therapy. They need to talk to some people, including me. You know, we all have a role to play. But what would happen to my friends if I knew that they were struggling with something mentally, and I started encouraging them to go down that route and become more radical in their mental conditions. I don't know how to say it any better. Like more debilitating, agreeing with their more debilitating nature of their mental illnesses. It's literally like encouraging a kid to jump off a cliff. Like at some point, the kid will probably do it, and they're just going to hurt themselves or they're going to hurt somebody else. So when I see this, and we keep constantly seeing it's people with similar thoughts and conditions where the whole world is telling them, yeah, you're good, yeah, you're sweet. And then, of course, people that are so mentally backed up, they're going to go and do these crazy things. So we need to be supporting them back to the fact that there are two genders, back to the fact that, you know, God created us in his image. He didn't create us to swap and change and be confused about who we actually were born to be. You know, a loving Father in heaven made it real easy for us, and we should be encouraging people to stick to what we were created as and created to be, to avoid this kind of mental disaster that we see before us.
Yeah, here's the problem is that 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, whatever, mental illness was treated as mental illness, right? Like if someone had a clear mental illness of some sort, they would just straight up tell you as such and treat you for it. Now, the problem is the society we live in, everyone expects and now is championed, you know, everyone's white knighting and championing everyone to be anything they think they can be and want to be. And it can be insane, right? Like, I mean, literally insane. It can be insane. I can be like, I mean, if you just hear some of these people talk about all the genders and the different sexual orientations and what have you, all of that, it's like, and then you have to go awesome. And then the pronouns and it's like, what are we doing? You know? And that's why I love the simplicity of the gospel. And President Nelson, when he talked about labels, you know, I get, it was in the past couple of years. I forget when exactly, but remember he talked about labels, and again, I'm going to forget and butcher what they were, but it was like, you know, first and foremost, remember you're a child of God, or whatever it was, and you know, but whatever. And I think he named three things: you're a child of God and a disciple of Christ, and whatever it was. But that's what we need to concern ourselves with, not with all this other stuff. And I still don't understand why people want to be labeled as their sexual preference. Like, that's really weird to me. Like, you don't find cisgender, which again, I hate that, even that there's a term that they've given us normal people a term, and they call it cisgender, which I'm like, I'm just normal, you know what I mean? Like, well, there shouldn't be a term for it. But they've given us a label, and I forgot what I was going to say there. But oh yeah, I just don't understand, because I wouldn't want to be labeled and known as my sexual preference. Like, who cares?
You know how whenever something like this comes up, the very first thing people rebut, if someone heard us say this and they didn't agree with us, the very first one-liner they would say is, how does it affect you? How does somebody's choice to believe, even if it's incorrect, to believe that they're a different gender, how does that actually affect you? Why is it your business? I think this article highlights why it becomes our problem and why it becomes our business. Because unmitigated mental illness leads people to do horrific things and injure people and hurt people and destroy other people's lives. So it directly affects us. Not only because it might happen to us, but because it actually changes the way that society views each other and interacts with each other. And that affects literally all of us, including our children. The children are the most important thing, right? if somebody's trying to change a mental illness into a widely accepted way of life, it says to our children, well, that's okay. And then there's extreme damage that can happen to our children. So if people say, how does my choice affect you? Well, it affects literally all of society. And that's a real easy thing to rebut. So
Yep. I'm reminded of the LDS student manual quote that reminds us that lawlessness is what leads to the love of men waxing cold, and it's this lawlessness that leads to the love of man waxing cold, and so
There he
people
goes.
think, yeah,
Yeah.
and so people think, oh, it's this enforcing of the law without mercy that it makes it so people don't have a heart. That's when the love of man waxes cold. And it's like, no, actually, once again, you people have it completely backwards because you study priestcrafters, because you study the news, because you study, your socialism and these weird programs. You don't study the word of God. That's wrong. It's the lack of enforcement of the law. It is the lawlessness that actually creates the love of men to wax cold. And so, when we just think, well, we don't have to obey the law and we can continue to just or enforce good sound judgment with these things, laws, borders, um, immigration laws and enforcement, and this
Isn't it funny? Isn't it
mental
funny how
health.
same people trying to dissolve all that?
Yeah, lawlessness. Yep.
Yep. Yep.
And another ironic little tidbit is that they'll also, at least in America, not down in Aussie they'll always be like, they'll bring up the Statue of Liberty, which is hilarious because apparently they don't know what the Statue of Liberty is literally holding in her hands. Because what she's holding in her hand is, people will know one of the two. There's two things that she holds. What are those things?
Torch.
We know the torch. Everyone knows that, but you know what else she holds?
isn't it the hang on, wait, I heard this recently. Is it the Torah?
The
or something.
Declaration of Independence. I don't know. I actually don't know what it is.
Maybe I heard something weird, but I heard
They have
someone
to
tell me
steal the Declaration of Independence.
maybe it was the meaning behind the torch or something. But anyway, don't let me ruin your fun, Micah. What's the other thing?
It is a tablet that she's actually holding, and it has the Declaration of Independence on her, and it is symbolic of law. That is literally it is a symbol of law. And so come here, you have constitutionally protected rights. And so it's directly connected to that. So it's funny they use the Statue of Liberty. It's like she's upholding the law, folks. The whole reason why people wanted to come here was because you couldn't just have some king say, screw you, I'm taking your stuff, and you have no rights and you have no votes. You have a law. You have a God-given constitutional right to things as an American over here. So, the statue.
You know what? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You continue your thought if you.
Well, the Statue of Liberty does not stand for just protecting poor people. That's just not what her image was. She says, "Give me your huddled masses. Give me those people who are longing for freedom and law, longing for these things." And people who come into the country illegally and break the law don't obviously long for those things. So.
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting to me is, and this has become hugely obvious, bluntly obvious in the past sort of 2 weeks or so. Probably should have had this in our list of news things, actually. The actual difference between America and every other country in terms of freedom of speech. And so you've seen the downfall happening in the UK for a while. People have been getting arrested. Police have been knocking on people's doors for hate speech when they've posted something on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Like literally, like could be like really quite mild. And police are rocking up to people's doors. And I thought, oh man, the UK's got it rough. Well, guess what? I always thought Australia was basically the same as the USA in terms of freedom of speech and things like that. I always thought, oh, we're pretty much aligned with all those things. Never really done a lot of thought, like a lot of looking into it. Well, turns out no. We now have new laws where our freedom of speech is now I can't figure what the law's called, but they just passed a law, and now if we say anything as well on social media, I think what they can, if they even check your private chats or they get access to them or they see them or whatever, and something you said in private, doesn't matter what it is, we can be seriously stuffed because of that and go to jail and things like this. And so this highlights for me though, the USA has its problems as it may. I still think in terms of law and the Constitution and the things it's got going on is still the pinnacle and still you know, you can just see that it's what God intended, right? The way that it was set up, and you know, it certainly has its issues and things
We
going
can
on.
still say all the things.
You can say all the things, but we can't say any of the things. Not that I wanted to go out there and say all the things, but I can't say any of the things.
There
And
was a
it's sad.
lady. There was a lady over here in Queensland that said one thing. I won't mention it, but it's fairly close to the article that we're currently discussing, and she got charged with a $60,000 fine.
Yeah, what the heck? Here's another one.
Shia LaBeouf just got arrested for doing it too in America.
Yeah. And
Apparently,
I've seen the video,
he was shouting apparently homophobic remarks.
which is funny because he was getting the life beaten out of him by a group of people. So who cares what you're shouting? You know what I mean? This is the funny thing. Like you're getting the hell beaten out you, and they arrest you for things you say. Like and they don't arrest the other people who are beating the hell out of you. It's really backwards, right? And to my next point, and again, this is another real topical thing, is and I just saw this yesterday or today, very recently. There was a man who went to jail for 12, I think it was 12 months for a post he made about the Bondi. I think he must have been anti-Semitic or anti-Islam about the Bondi attack, right? Something like that. He got 12 months prison. They just
No one in
today,
America knows what the Bondi attack is, so just reference
Oh.
that.
Okay, so just read. Oh, surely. Wow, really? We're that small time that no one knows about it. Recently,
I
They
was-
might not. They know about the attack. They don't know what Bondi is. So
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll give you the context. So recently, I don't know, must have been a month or
Bonsai!
a bonsai attack. No, so Bondi Beach is one of Australia's most well-known beaches.
popular.
I think it's got good waves and whatever, or it's at least very popular for tourists. Recently, they had a Jewish, I forget what the celebration was for. It was one of the Jewish high holidays, and so lots of Jews at the beach, and two Islamic dudes who whatever shot into the crowd and killed. I think they killed 12. Was it 12 people or 20 or something? It was a good, I mean, they did a lot of damage, killed a bunch of people. It was a father and a son, and the father got shot and died, and the son is now in prison for, ever, hopefully. I don't think that's good enough. I think he should be killed, but that's just me. And anyway, that's the Bondi attack. Anyway, so one guy said something on social media about that. Arrested, 12 months prison, right, for saying something on social media about it, right? Just yesterday or today, a principal of a really prestigious religious school, might have been Catholic school, I forget which school it was. The principal just got found for having and done for having child pornography and as a pedophile. Guess how much prison time he got?
0.
3 months.
Oh.
3 months.
I didn't mean to undercut you and make it look not as impressive.
But do you see how insane that is? So you can say something bad on social media and get arrested for 12 months. Any months is wrong for saying something and getting arrested. To me, that's just insane. But then a pedo with, whatever, gets arrested, gets 3 months. I mean, that is... And then what frustrates me is I have to sit here and just see this nonsense happen and have zero things I can do about it. And this is the world we're living in. It's upside down. It is backwards. It is just wrong. And anyway, this is the way it's going, man. And it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. And it's like, man, what leads to civil war? And it's like, you give enough of this, stuff happening over and over again. Yeah, that'll lead to it at some point.
And there is only one way out. And the Jeopardy question would be, what is the redemption of Zion?
That's
There you go.
literally just ties into that. Yep.
And then it's for this sort of thing to be fixed, it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court, all the judges, everything. Like, it's the judges as well. And there's a lot of this going on in America. And this is a problem with the judges. And then you go, oh, Gady Anton Roberts, right? Like, there's so much Gady Anton sort of stuff going on. And you're like, this is where the Book of Mormon's been warning us this whole time. But the judges are letting off like illegal immigrants raping and killing people. And they go, oh, they've had a hard life. Community service. We won't put them in prison. And then you get someone else to do something and they put them in prison for their whole life. And you're like, what's happening?
Very
Yeah,
good.
lawlessness.
Lawlessness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's the judges. They're askew and something's wrong there. And how do you fix that?
Yep.
You have to overthrow the government. What else do you do?
First,
Moving on. Number three.
First podcast.
Number three.
Topher's gone to take down.
So I'm not saying we need to overthrow
The
the government.
revolution!
We need to
Apparently, pure anarchy is what we're calling for here in the Three Brothers. Let's maybe move on down to number three.
The revolution!
Yeah. No, so you get what I'm saying. Okay, so this one, I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about this. I did hear about it this week. So a couple of interesting facts about this. Maybe Micah, having lived in Canada, will know more about this. But I do know some stats that euthanasia, medically assisted dying, now accounts for nearly 5% of all deaths in Canada, which is
A lot.
a lot. And I have some other stats. So it's literally like that's like 15,000 people. Like, that's a lot of people, man. They're like, assisting to die. So
The latest one in Canada, I believe it was somebody's son who everyone knew that he apparently suffered from seasonal depression. So like he would get depressed in the winter time, but then was completely fine when summer came around. And and apparently he was depressed in wintertime, and they basically got this kid killed. And I don't think they even had to like inform his parents. Like, he just did it like I don't think they have to inform your parents or anything. Like, if you're like 18 or older, like, you don't have to inform dependents or anything like that. So yeah, they just got this kid killed. Completely healthy kid. Nothing wrong with him. He just wanted to die, and they just assisted him in his suicide. So, and that happens. So that's now in the world that we live in, the civilized world we live in, that we allow people the ability to off themselves because it's cheaper than dealing with them. And that's the only reason. So I was in the medical system in Canada. I was in nursing there. I only had 1 year left. And I can tell you that they can't afford the healthcare system. They know it's crashing. And this was one of the options or things presented as how do we save the Canadian healthcare system, or at least prolong it before it crashes. And it was getting people off of the system. And there was, two things that they decided to do to get people off the system, which was kill them. And the other option, or not kill them, get them to kill themselves, convince them that they kill themselves. The other one was going away from a system of health to sickness. So doctors, they operate on this spectrum of like death is on one side of the line and healthy's on the other, and their job as a doctor is to get you as far away from death as possible. But they were going to move away from that onto what's known as a wellness scale, which was basically this idea that like it's not our job to heal you anymore. It's our job to make you feel good about where you are. So basically, like, as opposed to a doctor that's like, you have a broken ankle, I need to fix your ankle so that you're as far away from death as possible and healed. It's like, you have a broken ankle. How do we allow you to walk and to get around and do stuff with a broken ankle so that you can be well with your ailment? And so that's basically how the transfer occurred, because they just, sometimes there's waits for 6 months, 8 months, 3 years for surgeries and stuff. And those are the two big things. So anyway, yeah, that's what's happening there. People are killing themselves, and and the
You know what it
government's
reminds me
cool
of?
with it.
Wearing crazy hats. Yep.
It reminds me of, obviously we've seen, and I guess this comes back a little bit to point number two, but over the last couple of years, we've seen this explosion of um, people that are transitioning their genders, and it was all done quite experimentally. Doctors are doing these transitional procedures that they're very, very new, and they're applying drugs and medications that are quite new. They don't actually know the long-term effects of both the procedures and the drug intake. And now that we've been through that process for a couple of years, there's several people who were very young children, either pre-teens or early teens, who were able to make decisions to make drastic changes to their bodies. And they are now young adults who are permanently disfigured. And
Yeah.
they are going through this process of trying to detransition. And it's heartbreaking because they share their stories and they're like, I was tricked, I was deceived. Everyone told me, this is who you are, this is what you are, and encouraged me to do it. And I went and went off their supposed better judgment. I did it, and my whole life is ruined. For the rest of my life, I have physical issues. For the rest of my life, I will have a deeper voice. I will have, hair growing in places I don't want.
Never be able to have
on.
kids.
Never be able to have children. Never, and some of them are just like severely uncomfortable physical issues for the rest of their lives. Not to mention the mental scarring that comes along with a decade of failed procedures, and trying to live as the complete opposite of society, and then transitioning back again, and what that does to your societal relationships and familial relationships. Absolutely heartbreaking. So to hear we're moving more in this direction of unmitigated ability to destroy your life and encourage people to destroy their lives, whether it's to kill themselves, whether it's to change their genders, all these sort of things is so heartbreaking, because we're also seeing so many of these examples where people are like, I mean, we're never going to find out how people felt about not wanting to commit suicide, because that's so final. But people are going through these medical procedures on the advice of others, and then they're turning around going, that was the worst thing I could have ever done in my life, and I will spend the rest of my life encouraging people not to do stuff like that. So, yeah, it's horrific.
And it's interesting how the trust of these things has changed. Like, like in the past, it was like the right seemed to really trust like the military, and it really seemed to trust things like medicine, and the left was more into like alternative medicine and stuff. It's interesting to me how, as the systems collapse, as our trust in these systems collapse, the last few that we're holding on to, like the right still is holding on to like their money. Right? It's like, well, we can't trust the medical system. You can't trust that. Oh, you can't trust the government. You can't trust this, but we can trust the money, right? Put money in our 401ks. It'll be there, like, so like the right still has this weird fixation with like the trust of the money, and the left now has this hyper fixation on their trust of, what would you even think that they're fixated on anything right now other than just the fluidity of everything. Like they're fixated on the fact that like there is no truth, there is no love, tolerance. But it's interesting because eventually all these systems are going to collapse, and the last one, I think that the right, which is what most of the members of the church are, the overwhelming majority of us seem to be more center right. The last one that we really need to like cut the rope with really is your is the financial system. Yeah, it's a political affiliation. Yeah, exactly. Zion's the answer, folks. It's not these things. And this next one here is a little bit tongue in cheek. So, which, by the way, new news just came out, like literally either like I think it was last night to this morning, that would have been even funnier to put tongue in cheek in this one. So, due to, I mean, there's some some child problems in the world, you could say, some bad things happening to kids, but like, why are we even talking about that? Like, the Dow Jones is over 50 billion.
50,000.
50,000. It's so, why do we care about the children? The Dow Jones, right? So this is a little bit tongue in cheek, but more than that, this latest bit from Trump was, due to a overwhelming interest that the world has given on the subject of ... aliens, we've decided to release stuff on aliens. It's like, oh my goodness, like I have never, like, that lead up to, like, okay, due to the world like demanding these things, we're gonna release, it's like, and it's like aliens, and it's like, what is this? I've never had a bigger letdown other than one time when I was listening to General Conference when a prophet of God leaned in and said, now I want you all to listen very, very carefully to what I'm about to say next. It is really, really important. And I about died. I was like, oh my, it's happening. It's happening. Don't be racist. Oh my. What the heck just happened? That's what this is. But the most important thing I can tell you right now, folks, is the Dow and aliens are real.
Yeah. Did you see the image that I put into that document, Micah?
Oh no.
I quite literally put that tweet from Donald Trump about aliens.
Okay, now I go, goodness, that's, dude, I didn't see that. This just happened. So I can give me a sec. I
don't see it.
Below it.
But yeah, what a letdown, eh? But that's like twice. I mean, Trump, like I'm like all for Trump, but like that's twice recently he's let us down. One, just a while back he went, oh, the Epstein file, we're still talking about them? We're still talking about those? It's like, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, And then this all happens, and it's gaining traction. By the way, I mean, like I don't know, like I mean, my algorithm on social media is, I'm getting shown a lot of this sort of stuff about what's in the Epstein files. It's insane. And then Trump comes up with this bombshell, and I'm like, yeah, based on the tremendous interest shown, yeah. What could he possibly be talking about? Oh, it's got to be Epstein, right? No, aliens. What the heck are you talking about, mate?
It's been so funny.
Yes, that's what we're all holding our breath to hear about. Far out.
In particular, the past couple of months, every single time it looks like they try and distract us with something silly like aliens, the comments under everything is always like, man, those Epstein files must be horrific.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, what is it? 6 million files released and one person arrested so far, and I think it's what Prince Andrew just got arrested. I think finally, I think they just arrested him or questioned him or something.
Arrested, and he just got released. Also, it's estimated that only 2% of the total documents and files and everything on the Epstein files was actually released. Yeah. People thought it might have been like 6 million total. Apparently, that was 2 terabytes out of something like 300 terabytes of images and data.
Well, here's what I want to know is, when they're releasing these files, why are they redacting the names of the people that are talking to Jeffrey Epstein? Like, these are bad people. If you look at the content of the emails and things, these are bad people. What are they protecting them for?
Well, there were 2 congressmen that got together and saw the unredacted names, and they spent all day looking over them, and they came out of that and said, we found 6 names who you could immediately prosecute that have quite clearly engaged in criminal activity right now. So if the DOJ thinks to themselves, oh, there's no one to prosecute, we've just found 6. Like, if you just looked at these first 6, I guarantee we'll find more. But in just one day of looking, we found 6 identifiable.
And they're all rats. They will rat out everyone else if it means lowering their sentence.
Save themselves. Yeah. Good. Do it.
Like, just get 1 or 2 of them, and it's over. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the DOJ, man, like, I don't want to, because I'm a little ignorant on stuff. I don't spend a lot of time looking at news. But I do see some things, and I see is it Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on here? What is going on here with this Gaddy Anton style nonsense? Like, and I don't even know what it is, the congressional hearings or whatever they have, and they have people grilling her, to answer this, and she will not answer the questions. And it's like, and I sent you guys a meme, and it's like gold, and it's like, for the love of everything that's holy, arrest someone. You know what I mean? Like, they must be rolling. They must be absolutely rolling in stuff that they can work with.
You've missed the most important thing, and that is quite clearly that the Dow is over 50,000 points.
It's up, and Bitcoin's down.
And it's all
Bitcoin's dropping.
speculation. We
We
don't
gotta focus
actually
elsewhere.
know. We don't actually know what baby jerky means. Like, we don't
Yeah.
actually know that that's what they meant. It's like, well, can we have their name and so can we ask them? Like, like this is kind of a big deal. Like, could we ask them maybe? Hey, you were talking here about enjoying baby jerky. What was this about?
Yeah.
And maybe can we cross-examine them without them knowing? So can we ask this person over here what baby jerky was and this person over here what it was and see if they say the same thing? No, we can't
You know
do
what
any of
annoys
that?
me?
Okay.
You know what
Cool.
annoys me about when they ask these questions anyway, and they have these congressional hearings and they grill them with these questions, and it's like they're not forced to answer. Like they dance around the answer. It's like, I don't know what you're doing. Force them to answer
You can
the
hold them.
question.
You can hold them in contempt. We just don't do it. Like, it's called
That's like-
holding someone in contempt of court when they're like refusing to answer. And yeah, you can get charged with that. But
And then
nobody
didn't
does it.
Didn't Pam Bondi also say, "Oh, if we prosecuted everyone who's in these files or did something wrong, the whole system would collapse"?
Yes, correct.
Bring it down, baby. Bring it down. Burn it down. I don't care. Yes, good. Burn it down.
I'd go back
Collapse
to the
the system.
Stone Ages if it meant all those people got done.
Collapse the system. Yes. Burn it down. Far out. Like she thinks that's a
All
bad
right.
thing? What the hell?
All right, good.
Anyway.
I think we're going to have weeks and weeks of very similar points on
Oh,
this.
this is going to be every week. Every week.
This will be hanging around. So let's
Yeah.
let's
All right,
boogie
so
on down to
finish on a
number
higher
5.
note. Finish on a nicer note. President Oakes, he gave his first talk as
What a
president.
segue.
Okie
Gonna end on a
dokes.
high. Gonna end on a high note. So just quickly on President Oakes. So a couple of things I'll just mention that I liked about his talk. It wasn't like a long, insane talk. You know, nothing crazy. It was nice though. A couple of things that stood out to me about it were, you know, he talked about doctrinal. In one of his sections was called "Doctrinal Issues for Latter-day Saints," and he said, "I feel to emphasize the warning President Russell M. Nelson
Oh,
issued us."
that's the last. That's literally the last section. So you're actually
is that what you're doing
that's
for your
it.
last bit?
Yeah.
Oh,
So that is
okay.
it.
Oh, sorry.
In fact, literally word for word where it starts. Like you nailed
okay.
it.
Well,
That's
I'll leave that then because that was just what I liked about his talk. I didn't realize that was what the last bit was. What I'll say, I'll leave that for the last bit then. But he did focus on 4 things though. You don't talk about these 4 things, do you? In your bit, you know, the 4 things he'd mentioned.
No, I don't mention that here. No.
All right. So he had 4 things. You know, I'm a practical guy. I like practical things. I like step by steps. I like being able to follow something. So he gave 4 ways to help us draw closer to our Savior, because that's drawing closer to the Savior is the answer for everything, right? It's the answer for doctrinal issues. It's the answer for everything. And so they were, first one was strengthen our faith in him. And again, these are like, you know, this is the stuff we've heard our whole lives. There's nothing insane here. Strengthen our faith in him, the Savior Jesus Christ. Second, increase our humility. Third, seek help from others. And fourth, be patient. And I can go over those. Yeah, so increase faith, increase humility, seek help from others, and be patient. So strengthen our faith in him is obvious, right? Increase our humility, I think, is that for me is something I'm always working on personally. Pride, man. Pride's the killer of everything, right? So I think that's always important. And so increasing our humility, reducing our pride, removing our pride, shedding our pride, that is you know, is that the word imperative? The third one stood out as well, seeking help from others. And again, seeking help from others, don't go to the wrong sources for help. Don't go to priestcrafters. Don't go to people who are trying to sell you stuff, trying to pitch off your questions and your doctrinal issues and your money or whatever like that, right? Like, be careful where you go to seek help. There's plenty of help in the church. There's plenty of people in your ward. There's plenty of people around that can help you. And then the last one, be patient. And patience is, we've talked about patience at length as well. Patience is obviously really, really important. So anyway, it's a really good talk from President Oakes, and I can't wait to hear more from President Oakes at General Conference, which is again in 2 months. Anyone else want to add anything else to that?
I'm reminded, like when you were going over the increased faith in him, um, President Nelson had that quote about what we do to increase faith in him that I use forever, which was the like deepening your understanding of the doctrine taught in his restored church, relentlessly seeking truth, and that being central to increasing faith in him, and is that you have to come to know his doctrine, you have to come to know him, and because you can't have faith in something like you can't have faith in something that you don't know what it is, right? Like Paul went over that, right? The nameless, shapeless, unknown God, right? Like you can't have faith in that, right? And so we have to know him. We have to know, and that's what by the way, Lectures in Faith is entirely about. You have to know certain key characteristics about your loving Heavenly Father and His Son, or else you just won't be able to have faith in Him. At least, as it says in Lectures on Faith, unto life and salvation. So yeah.
Yep. Love
And
it.
that last thing, if Ammon didn't have anything to say, that last thing is actually the final the final segment, if you will, the final tidbit, which is the spiritual thought.
Thought.
Yes, yes, yes. So, without further ado,
Come over.
Where are we going?
Oh, around. It's a surprise. Do you like surprises?
I do.
Okay.
let's do it. Okay, so here we go.
Love it.
President Oaks in this one, he said here, and this is literally right where he started here. I feel to emphasize the warning President Russell M. Nelson issued us in the coming days. It will not be possible to survive spiritually without the guiding, comforting, and constant influence of the Holy Ghost. One of the many reasons you will need the constant influence of the Holy Ghost is that you live in a season where the adversary has become so effective at disguising truth that if you don't have the Holy Ghost, you will be deceived. And you can tie that directly into the President Joseph Fielding Smith quote that we share so often about how we qualify for the Holy Ghost, or you will be deceived. Many obstacles lie ahead. The distractions will be many. Even active members may sometimes have concerns about some historical, doctrinal, or social issues connected with the church. I want to help all our members overcome present or future doubts. Don't be persuaded by false or inaccurate information. Discuss your concerns with faithful, well-informed friends, and always take those concerns to the Lord. The Lord has told us very little about some things. For example, we know very little about the spirit world that follows mortality, or even about the spirit world that preceded it. This lack of knowledge can be harmful when we rely on beliefs on these subjects, i.e., near-death experiences, from well-meaning people who teach beyond what God has chosen to reveal. Trusting God in what we know and in what we don't know is a great protection against doubts based on mistaken ideas instead of on what God has chosen to reveal. That's it. And here's the commitment. So here's the commitment for the week, folks. Turn off priestcraft, turn on the Three Brothers. That's the commitment.
That's a good one. I look again. I really like. So don't be dissuaded by false or inaccurate information. That's so critical, right? But here's the problem: is that how do you know if something's false, or how do you know if it's inaccurate? And that's why choosing the source of your support, or the source where you go to learn stuff, the source where you is so important. Because if you go to a priestcrafty source or whatever, you're possibly going to get false or inaccurate information just from the get-go. Discuss your concerns with faithful, well-informed friends, and always take, and here's probably the kicker, always take those concerns to the Lord. So, super important. I just, we can't turn off priestcraft and turn on the Three Brothers, and I mean, we're not going to answer all your questions here. We're just, having some fun, I suppose. But also, Zion or Bust Discord is a fantastic place to go and discuss your concerns or discuss anything else you want to, because you've got a bunch of well-informed, wonderful people in there who are willing to talk about whatever. And I would heavily suggest.
Well, not whatever. We won't talk about the unrevealed stuff. So,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I would suggest that's a good suggestion to go if you're wanting to ask about something. Yeah, we'll do what we can. Yes.
Very good. I think that's good for the week.
Can I
We-
just add one
Forest
more
Brothers?
thing before we
Nope.
end it up here?
Nope.
Again,
Nope.
hit us up in the comments. So we will read those comments. We will see them. Also in Discord, if you're in there, post in there as well, comments and things. Also hit us up with suggestions if you think there's anything that we could cover, should talk about, ideas for segments that we should do, because this is all brand new, man. Like we're figuring this out. Like we're literally riding by the seat of our pants. We put together, like Michael put together a bare bones document of just ideas, and we are just literally riding by the seat of our pants on it, and hoping that people enjoy it. So I think please comment and give us suggestions on things you want to hear about, talk about, want us to cover. That would be awesome, and we'll keep doing it.
That sounds good. And Ammon and Topher have said that they really, really want the negative comments, so because they're going to go to battle. So please bring them on. They're looking forward to those. So don't hold back. They're gonna I mean, they love them. I mean, Aussie land, bring it on. They deal with they have to fight off roofs just to get into their cars down there. They can handle you. So.
Funny, we haven't had comments since the Two Brothers days. You know what I mean? Like we had the comments on in the Two Brothers days. We dealt with a few there, but haven't had to deal with any comments for years now. So yeah, that'd be interesting.
For some reason, I don't think Topher will be rusty. I think he'll be. A sharp instrument. I think he'll do just fine. All right, well that's it. I think that wraps up this week. That was a pretty good intro. Thanks for joining us. Your favorite Three Brothers
coming at you in podcast form, baby.
We love you. We'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.